since day one. But I am Fantokyo, the great and I'll not be outdone. Welcome to Fantokyo Spectacular Theater in the Pound. Please excuse my thespian vernacular when I say thou is going down. I've had enough of you, so time to be my puppet on a string. I've had enough of you. Oh, dance, my little Muppet plaything. Now, the audience is thirsty for fun. Time to run. 'Cause now your denouement has already begun. That means you're done. We could both be pirates on the sea. You'll swab the deck and play a part for me. Mops galore, you better keep it clean. Watch out now, my little friend, 'cause Sharkspeare's looking mean. I've had enough of you, so time to be my puppet on a string. I've had enough of you. Oh, dance, my little Muppet plaything. A battle like no other. Better move, 'cause here's another. At least you'll get to see defeat in epic style. The audience is primed, each attack right on time. Seeing you entwined is so worthwhile. But why stop there at a lion, a bear? What's wrong, my petite cher? Why don't you smile? The final act is sure to be a theatrical plot twist worthy of a prize. Want a shot? You better be more tactical. Messing with Fantokyo is never wise. I've had enough of you, so won't you be my puppet on a string? I've had enough of you. Oh, dance, my little Muppet plaything. I'm up to here with you, so why don't you finally face it? Your fate is sealed, and everything you do is what I say. Starting now and every day, you'll be my puppet, learn to love it. Every word I say you'll covet. Start anew, stuck like glue, bid your former self adieu, 'cause I've had enough of you.
Pokemon music.
Quick thing, since they can't hear us, right? Okay, they can. I wasn't sure if they could or not. Hi, everyone! But if you guys might want to think and come up with your little backstories, because I am going to ask each of you how you guys met the professor and why you're here for his funeral, because that is why you are in town right now.
Why do you think I have a carriage?
Just think about that.
Do you think this big dumb lizard was smart enough to have a carriage for himself? No.
I like.
The professor got the carriage and realized, hey, if I have this guy pull it, then, yeah.
In the carriage driver profession to a whole new level.
I just had a chance encounter with them and saved them from some burglars on the road. Because I'm a nice guy.
In fact, if any other players wish to sort of tack on to my character could just be the transport for someone else also attending.
What's up?
If anyone wishes to tack on to my character could also be transporting one of the other players.
I mean, my character would not be opposed at all to having a nice carriage ride.
Tales of our endeavors proliferate.
Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Lords of Death Pathfinder. Our first stream of this campaign, so I will go ahead and turn it over to Timmy as the DM.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. How is everyone doing today? Is all of our players ready for glorious adventure?
I am scared.
I'm excited.
I mean, Timmy's the DM, so of course you should be scared.
Welcome to Happy Fun Times, everybody! Happy Fun Times. Also, everyone, we have a new player today. Aram, say hello to everybody, please. Introduce yourself.
Hello to everyone. I am Aura.
He is a sweet, adorable cinnamon roll.
I am not. I will kill you.
That's what he just wants you to think. It's okay. Don't worry. You're fine.
I can't see anything. I don't know what everyone is typing about me, so stop it.
Alright, so what do you say, everyone? We get right into our little adventure, shall we?
All right.
Let us give a little bit of background information for those who don't know. Welcome to the world of Pathfinder, the world of Galarian. The world of Galarian is a world of magic and gods.
It fills you with determination.
Ooh, we have a new person.
Yes, thank you, Dragon Man, for the subscription.
The world of Galarian is a world of magic and gods. It is a place that for thousands of years, the hands of gods have helped shape the world. Recently, though, in the last 20 years, the world has changed. Eredin, god of humanity, the god who was said to bring in a golden age to the world, died. All of his followers, all of his clerics, lost their magic and abilities. And since that day, all those years ago, prophecies are not going the way they're supposed to. What should happen is not what does happen. And fate is now open, and the world has almost been thrown into chaos since that day. Our story, though, takes place in a little bit of an out-of-the-way area. It takes place in the northern country known as Ustalav. Ustalav is a country that very much is down on its luck. The nobility work hard in order to keep the poor poor, them working for them. But not just that. Long ago, there was a being known as the Whispering Tyrant. Tol-Bafon was his mortal name. And he faced Eredin when he was still mortal, and then once again when he became a god. He was the greatest necromancer to have ever lived, and Eredin smote him down in a great battle. But the Whispering Tyrant didn't die. That was part of his plan, or so the legends go. And he became the greatest lich to ever walk the world. And he conquered Ustalav with an army of goblins, orcs, and creatures that are far darker and fouler than most people know of. And he ruled that country for hundreds of years, expanding his power base and slowly taking over everything he could get his skeletal hands on. Until one day, a great crusade was launched to reclaim the world, his lands, and to cast him down. It took decades to do so. And even then, even in the end of the battle, they were not able to kill the Whispering Tyrant. They were not able to find his phylactery and destroy it. All they were able to do was destroy his body and send him back to his tower. And then they constructed 3 great wards around that tower in order to keep him trapped, to ensure that the Whispering Tyrant could never return. But the Tyrant had a backup plan. A group known as the Whispering Way. A group of necromancers whispered about. And, well, let's see how this little group of adventurers do against the return of Tal Bafon, the Whispering Tyrant. Welcome, everyone, to the Lords of Death. Our adventure opens... Hey, I have to give a little background info for everyone who's watching here.
To be fair, I appreciated that, because I had no idea.
Yeah, I gotta get people pumped up and interested in what you guys might be facing later on down the line in Book 6. Oh, God. Anyway, that, though, is not what our adventure is about today. Today, our group of adventurers have come to the small town of Ravengro in Ustalav, southern Ustalav. It is a very small farming community, not too much, a couple hundred people, but in Ustalav that is actually fairly large for a town, due to the issues of creatures, undead, werewolves, vampires, and other such monsters that prowl the darkness. The citizens of Ustalav are not very open, to put it lightly. But each of you were invited to attend the funeral of an old friend of yours, Professor Petros Lormir, a very, very well-known professor who taught on all manners of subjects. He traveled the world seeking mysteries, secrets, and to learn everything he could about the darkness, because he believed that through information that they could neutralize the darkness's greatest strengths and find their weaknesses to destroy them forever. But now, let us introduce our players as they arrive to the small town of Ravengro for the funeral. Let's start in reverse order. Alberus, introduce yourself. How did you know the professor beforehand? And what are you? Who are you?
I am Alberus Fieldclair. Timmy has a very bad habit of not remembering to mute his mic. And we're in the same room, which makes things difficult.
Working on it.
We'll get him in the hang of it eventually. Anyways, I am Alberus Fieldclair of the noble house of Fieldclair. I am what is known as a tobi-kadachi, a swashbuckler by trade, and a mystic by training. I wield in one hand a rapier capable of slicing the very clothes and armor off of foes with a single swipe, as well as in my other hand a very fine pistol, which I will wield to great effect against my foes. As for how I knew the professor, well, you could almost say that I am the professor. After all, Professor von Eucalyptus and I were very close.
Shh. Wrong professor.
Oh, right, wrong professor. He is the true professor, but I suppose we'll go with this professor. This one... Well, I was out on a hunting, out on a hunting trip one fine day when I came across a mysterious ruins. I had gone a bit further afield than I normally would, and discovered the fine professor, the recently deceased, excavating through the ruins. And he was onset by a group of undead, which I rode nobly to his rescue, and dispatched them with grace and ease. And I believe that is it for me, if you would like to turn it over to another.
Dacro! Introduce yourself, my good sir.
My name is Dacro Fulgur, and I am what many would call a rogue, I would assume. I don't fight fair, but that is because fights are never fair. So, if I can take them out in one shot, why not? As for how I met the professor, well, I met him on one of his travels. He was being roughed around by a couple thugs, and I figured I'd take him out for him. He was so grateful after that I guess that's why I'm here now.
Excellent. And what are you, Dacro?
Oh, I am a catfolk from a far village. I travel a lot. Talking is hard. I'm a
Just
catfolk
remember,
from a far village, and I do
Oram.
a lot of travel.
Just remember, you are currently being watched and judged by 9 viewers. That should help, right?
Yes, one for each life.
Oh my god!
I give you 1,000 experience points for that.
As the organized play director, I will have to deny that experience granting.
Well, you can't deny my death.
Anyways, continue.
I come from a village far from the war, but that is because I myself go out to find them. I plan to keep it as far from them as possible, so I travel. And I have met many places that are not fond of my kind, like this place here. The professor was kind enough to look past that. So I'm hoping maybe I can be of use for him now. And, well, actually, it's kind of too late to be of use to him, but he's kind of dead now.
That is not very fine of you to speak of the dead in such a disrespectful manner. Do curb your tongue, mongrel.
Most of the dead are actively fighting me. I don't think they care about respect too much.
And our last member, Kravist. Introduce yourself, why don't you?
I Kravist. Professor pay me carry me carry other wizard. Kravist is a large lizard folk. Not the brightest bulb, but he does his job. The professor would hire him to carry a cart or wagon or chariot or whatever was needed to be pulled. And at the moment he is pulling the carriage for Oberus.
He does a fine job. It's very nice to not have to hire an additional hand to direct horses. And he can even hunt for himself. So you see, it's just very easy going for me. So we do have one player who is missing. Hopefully he will be here next week. I am definitely going to give him some serious shit for this, but, you know, he's not here right now. It is played by our very own Azai, the pun pup. And, yeah, we just kind of not sure where he is right now. Probably asleep, but hopefully
He
he'll
got
join
beaten up by
next
the
week.
dead people.
But I think that's it. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to mention. Our characters are what is known as gestalting. For all you viewers out there, I'll let Timmy explain that because he can probably do a much better job than I can, but, you know, that is important for them to know.
Gestalting is when you take two classes and basically combine them together. Ulbris is a swashbuckler mystic. Dacro is a rogue sorcerer. And Kravis is a barbarian kineticist, I believe, still?
Yep, barbarian kineticist.
And you guys haven't met the fourth member of the party yet, who may or may not be joining you guys, depending on what happens.
May or may not already be dead.
But gestalting allows them to have a higher, not necessarily power, so much as giving them more options. Due to this being a game made for between 5 to 6 players, having only 3 or 4 players can put them at a disadvantage, and it can get them killed very easily. I personally have run this campaign once before as a player myself, and only me and one other player, and said other player died about 5 or 6 times.
And this is why I always play a catfolk. The extra 8 lives are very useful.
But now, are you guys able to see yourselves on... Oh, hang on. I need to reveal this. Also, apologies to everyone watching if there's a few technical glitches and such. I'm still getting used to using Fantasy Grounds this way. This is my first time actually using it.
At least, you know, using it for more than just rolls and combat tracker.
Yes. Why are there all these markings showing up on the map?
I tried to figure out how to move,
circles.
and I moved. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Which map or which computer is everyone seeing? Or sorry, which screen is the stream seeing? Yours? Okay. So if everyone wants to take a quick look, you should have open the Ravengro map. That is the map of the small little village. You guys would have come in through the south. That little road down to the south, taken the bridge up to the left, and just moved on past those farms in order to get to the cemetery. You would have seen on the right side, where all of these buildings and such are, that would have been the town square there.
But that's a circle.
Yeet! You wouldn't have seen that many people while coming here. The moment people laid eyes on you, either you got glares or people immediately moving out of the way to get it either out of your line of sight or going back into their homes. Very much whispers, talking. You couldn't really overhear that much, but these people did not seem welcoming to you
Well, that's something
on your way up
unusual.
here.
Well, he is being pulled by a giant lizard, so
You soon, though, would have made it up to the cemetery. And it is here that you would meet a woman standing at the gates. Each of you would recognize her. You would know her. Her name is Kendra Lormir. She is 25 years old. She was Petros's daughter. And she's lived in this town for around 15 years. Her eyes are red and puffy as you come up, and she is dressed in very dark, conservative clothes. And as you get up, she gives you a very sad, almost weak smile as she nods her head to each of you. Oh, it's good to see all of you.
me sad he dead.
Yes, so am I, Kravist. Dacro, how are you? It's been quite some time.
I am doing fine, my lady. I wish things could be said better for you.
Where's Olbrus? I thought he would have been here by now.
Olbris will come out of the carriage. Mike! Olbris will come out of the carriage dressed in fine livery. He has the courtesan's clothes or something like that. He will come and make a deep bow to her, reaching forward to kiss her hand. I do apologize for the unfortunate circumstances that lead to us meeting again, but it is good to see you. I hope you have been keeping in well health, yes?
I've been doing my best. I've been trying to take care of my father's estate since his passing a few days ago. But we haven't been able to read his will. It was very strict on you three plus another being there beforehand. But we can talk about that later after we take care of this. My father's coffin is right through here. She points right past the gates to the cemetery, and you can see a very finely crafted coffin sitting off to the side there. I was going to ask if any of you wanted to be the pallbearers before I talked to the priests to escort him there.
I would be honored.
Would be good to
It
carry
would, of course,
him.
be an honor.
She smiles and nods. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I know how uncomfortable it must be to come here. I know not all the people here can be welcoming, but they are good people. It just, well, it's not very safe here. But thank you. Truly. It's nice to know that I have some people that I can count on.
If you don't mind my asking, what do you mean by it's not safe?
We can talk about it after the funeral. Once we take care of his will and everything, I can explain a little bit more. But I think there might be trouble here, but I don't know for sure. Something isn't sitting right with me. Each of you will know that she is a wizard. She's not a very powerful wizard, but she has been trained in it, specifically in divination and learning, is what she specializes in with her magic. And usually she went with her father if he needed some help identifying ancient lore or information or objects and such. She was very good at that, and she inherited her father's love of learning as well. But she has always treated all three of you, whenever you met, with dignity that any person would deserve.
By all means, if you say there is trouble, we will be wary.
Agreed. Now, shall we be about this?
She will nod and lead you over. The coffin itself looks like it has enough room for about 4 people to hold it. With your large size, Kravis, you could probably hold it all on one side by yourself. If Dacro and Ulberus took the other side, they would be able to support the body pretty easily.
I figured one of us on each side with Krivist in the back holding both sides. But yeah.
That could work as well. Whatever way you guys would want. You three together, thanks to Kravis's large size and his glorious muscles, would be able to carry it.
I could probably
think
carry
Travis
the whole
has
thing
a
by
fan
myself.
with our narrator.
What was that? Did you say something to Kravis?
I was like, I could probably carry the whole thing by myself if I really wanted to.
You might, but this is more of a
Dignified thing?
sort of, yeah. This is supposed to be an act of honor rather than, just carrying something to carry something. Which I'm sure I'm sure that she would explain that to you if you asked.
So we're all carrying it together.
Exactly. And once you guys are ready to go ahead and start moving your way down the path here, if you would.
Due to the way the system works, it's really hard for us to move because you need to approve each move. If you right-click, there should be a little lock to unlock movement.
Oh, okay. Give me a second. Let me see.
Just right-click on the background. Yes, I think it's on the background.
Okay. Unlock tokens?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay. I think I did it. Yay! Good. So as you guys are making your way down here. Oh yes, do increase your size. Don't increase your size, sir. He's large. He can increase his size. Down, boy, down.
How do I increase my size?
Control and scroll wheel.
I did it.
Can you change your size back, arm? As you guys make your way down this gravel pathway, the cemetery is very, very well kept and very neat. As you make your way up towards down this path, ahead of you, a little bit past this building here, I wish I could mark an area. Oh, that's true. As you get right past this building here, you can see that there is a bit of a gathering ahead of people. A small handful of villagers, it looks like. Most of them look to be older men. You don't know any of them. And then one other is what looks like to be a 12 or 13-year-old boy as well. All of them are very somber and quiet, and they are looking at you three with looks of not really disgust, but like their looks of like these people are strangers and they are different, and they definitely don't look like they're necessarily trusting you or really necessarily want you there.
So
But
as you go past, Kravis is going to try and flash a big smile, which is probably going to come off more as this almost scowl with the showing of the teeth. He's
Many
trying
of
to
the
be
people,
nice.
many of the people quickly look away. And as you guys move a little bit farther forward to get to them, let me see if I can do something.
You all can also move our tokens if you need someone to be moved somewhere.
Oh, sweet. So I'll just move you guys up to where you guys would be. I'm going to move you guys up there. There you guys go. Yeah, this is about where the people are. And as you guys get up there, you can see ahead of you looks to be about a dozen surly-looking locals. They're dressed more in like farm outfits, dirty, and they, unlike the small group that was gathered around the gravesite, these people are out and out glaring at you, and they do not look friendly at all. As one of them, an elderly fellow, steps forward, and he doesn't really look at you guys that much. He's more focused right on Kendra. That's far enough. We've been talking, we don't want Loromir buried in the Restlands. You can take him upriver and bury him there if you want, but he ain't going in the ground here. This man growls at Kendra, glaring daggers at her.
Alright, Kravist is going to growl.
Olberis will raise a brow.
The man pauses when he growls before Kendra speaks up. Kendra is swift, her sadness transforming rapidly to anger. What are you talking about? I arranged with Follow Grimbarrow. He's waiting for us. The grave's already been... And this man just cuts her off. You don't get it, woman. We won't have a necromancer buried in the same place as our kin. I suggest you move out while you still can. Folks are pretty upset about this right now.
I'm going to make... Okay. Kravist is just thumping his tail against the ground. He hasn't actually, like, taken a step forward.
Does anyone speak up here? Just wondering, because it seemed like some of you might have.
Yes, I was about to, but Olberis will speak up. I'm afraid that we will be bringing him here to his final resting location, whether you approve of it or not. It has been approved by those in authority here, And your say will need to be brought up with them as opposed to us.
Dakro, do you say anything at all either?
I can't think of anything I'd say. I am just silent.
I will make a prepared action if he lays a finger on Kendra. I'm attacking.
Okay. Alvarez, make a diplomacy roll and add +2 to it. Actually, no, +3 to it.
Alrighty. I have cologne on because it is a proper thing, so I get a +2 to it.
I just thought you didn't want to smell the lizard.
Yes, cologne adds a +2 to diplomacy checks.
Well, that explains the stench.
He smells
Solid.
fabulous.
This man looks at you, your fine clothing, the carriage that pretty much all of these guys had seen you ride up in, before he takes a step back. And he looks very, very uncomfortable with you. What do you
Tales of our endeavors
want?
proliferate.
Thing? This isn't your land. This isn't your people.
No, but if I am not mistaken, you do have a form of government or leadership here, and they have decided that this fine professor is to be buried here. It is not your place to say that he cannot. And Oberys is fingering his very fine rapier, which is still sheathed for the record.
DM, quick question. Would they have allowed me to bring my axe with me?
What's up?
Would they have allowed me to bring my axe with me, or is it back at the back
You
at
all
carriage?
would have been able to carry your weapons in.
Hey, Timmy?
Yes.
Yes.
The dead are stirring.
Oh!
Okay.
Donation
Joy.
goal complete.
Wait, what?
Donation goal has been completed. Thank you very much for that donation, Karma. Even though I'm probably not going to like you because this is going to be problematic.
Oh, joy, 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 joy. Okay, don't worry about it. It'll come up. It will come up.
I'm enjoying this.
This man looks like he's about to start snarling back at you. Before you hear, what is going on here? As a older man, let me see if I can find some. Give me 1 second while I get my images open real quick.
I'm going to extend my prepared action to if anyone aggressively touches Kendra or any of the party members, I'm attacking.
No worries. This is fine. Let me see if I can find this real quick. You should have a picture. There it is. Yep. Boop. Let me show you this image real quick. This is Father Grimburrow right here.
This guy looks like a zombie.
That's
Probably a
one
ghoul.
ugly son of a bitch.
He is not. He is a cleric. He is a cleric of Pharasma. Pharasma is the goddess of fate and death in the world of Galarian. She sees to it that each and every soul that comes to her is judged fairly and sent to where it is supposed to go. She detests undeath. Despite being a goddess of death, the undead are absolute anathema to her, and all of her clerics and churches are charged with the destruction of undead and the protection of bodies and the dead. That is their duty. They are very, very good at doing that.
Well,
She is
sure
not
looks
a
like
god.
cleric.
She is a goddess of basically neutrality, of just ensuring that those who die go where they are supposed to go, and that their bodies, their souls, are not disturbed or demeaned or desecrated. Despite his otherwise older age, Grimborough's voice is like a blade cutting through the tension here as he and two acolytes come marching down from where the grave actually is. And he is just livid. What is going on here? And this man and his little gang immediately turn tail and run when he comes marching down. Before he watches them go, walks over to Kendra and takes her hand. My apologies for this disturbance here. And she nods thankfully before he looks at you three. Ah, Kendra told me that we'd be having some outsiders come. Didn't expect you to be so different. He's not really like insultive so much as like, been there, done that, seen it, don't really care. It seems he, unlike everyone else, he's not really hostile to you, more just like neutral. He doesn't really care one way or the other.
Well, thank you very much for dispersing that crowd. It would have been very shameful to have shed blood on this day.
Grimborough is going to nod at that. Those ruffians know how important this is. Necromancy. Please, he may have been a little eccentric, but he was one of us. And I won't hear any talk of that here. I'm Father Grimsparrow. I am the head of the Church of Pharasma here. Thank you for helping Kendra with them and making sure that they don't disturb this.
It is my honor to assist.
If they come back, me squish.
I doubt that would be necessary. They seem like quite a spineless lot.
No, my simple-minded friend, it really would not be necessary. Better to avoid killing, especially for simple folk that are little more than just afraid.
Okay.
Father Grimborrow gives a few quick claps of his hand before beckoning you all to start lowering the grave into, or the casket into the prepared grave. Would anyone here like to say a few words about the recently deceased?
Me miss
Me-
you. Me sad you gone.
Yeah, I've got no idea what else to say beyond something like that.
He was a man of intelligence, knowledge, and wonder. And it's going to be sad to see that he's gone now. What else could he have learned?
I will certainly miss our afternoons of wine and chess now that you have moved on, but I do hope you can rest in peace.
Sorry, I'm just checking something real quick too, while this is going. Excellent. Okay. I have what I needed before. Kendra is going to nod to all of you, thankfully, as she also takes a step up. My father was eccentric, yes, but he always believed in doing what was right and what was good. He devoted his whole life to trying to better the world and to protect the people that were in it. Even now, I'm sure that he would want us to continue on with his work, to keep learning about everything that we can in order to make this world a better place. And no matter what, I will continue to try to carry on his work. And there's a few soft claps from some of the gathered people. Otherwise, it is very silent and somber as the two priests that are with the father begin to bury him.
If they're burying him, just sort of shoveling dirt on.
Mm-hmm.
Kravist is going to help by using his tail just to sort of sweep huge chunks of it. He's not very socially understanding. He's like, oh, they're putting dirt on now. Okay, me help.
The priests are going to look a little confused at this and kind of glance at Father Grimbaro about what they should do, and the father just kind of gives a nod to them. It's like, hey, it's okay, it's okay. He wants to help out, let him help out.
For being a big, tough guy, you were so adorable.
Thank you. That's sort of the goal. He's the big tough guy with the mind that's fairly simple.
Let me just double check stuff real quick. Make sure we got everything. For those who spoke real quick, give me a diplomacy check.
Oh dear.
I can't remember how to roll diplomacy.
Drag the total from the. Oh, you can also double click.
Okay. So you guys would actually notice that as you guys are finishing up, some of the townsfolk that had gathered here to watch you guys are actually looking at you with a little bit more respect and surprise, actually. it's a little bit more of a warm look than you were getting before. As Kendra would begin to lead you guys out of the cemetery and down back towards town.
Before we go, like someone would put a bouquet of flowers on the grave, I am going to attach my ever burning torch to it.
Okay.
So he will always have a light in the grave.
Oh.
For that, I will give you. Ever-burning torches aren't cheap, so that's actually a big deal. So I am going to give you that. So as you guys head back to, are you guys going to take the carriage down to the town?
Of course.
Well, do you think Zim's character is going to want to walk?
Fair. Let me see real quick if I can move your guys' tokens.
I don't know what I got.
Oh, sweet, I can move your guys' tokens. So I'm going to move your guys' tokens to Laramir's house. Though you guys aren't here yet, I'm just doing this to save a little bit of time. So as you guys load up into the carriage, the front is open, Caravis, so that you are able to hear what they are saying and you can speak to them as well while you are rolling the carriage. Kendra climbs up gracefully into it and takes a seat. She lightly dabs a cloth at her eyes. Despite her sadness, there is still that look of anger on her face that she does her best to try to hide.
What was her name again?
Kendra is her name. Kendra Laramir.
Kendra Laramir?
Yep.
Okay. So, Miss Laramir, was that the sort of danger that you were speaking of, or is there something more?
She's going to shake her head. No, that wasn't the danger I was talking about. That was just pure stupidity.
I'm assuming it has something to do with undead then?
I am not sure about that, but it's
Necromancy on the professor. It really makes me wonder.
She seems to pause and consider her words carefully. I don't know that much. I don't know really any of the details. I know my father was investigating the prison up north, just outside of town.
What about the prison interested him? Do you know?
Oh, everyone knows about Harrowstone. Harrowstone held the worst of the worst. It burned down, though, I think it was 60, 70 years ago. It's been a little bit of time since I've looked into the details. But my father was interested in it recently. He was trying to do some investigations in on it. And that's where they found his body, up at Harrowstone. It seemed like part of the structure had come loose and fell and crushed him. But that doesn't seem right. My father was intelligent. He knew not to take risks like that, not where something as paltry as some gargoyle falling off a old prison would kill him.
Someone kill Professor?
I don't know. I don't know. Everything says that it was just an accident, but my instincts are telling me something isn't right. But I don't have any proof,
Welcome
and,
to the hamlet.
well, Harrowstone is considered to be extremely haunted by the townsfolk here. No one really goes up there at all. Ever since it burned down all those decades ago.
Do you know what specifically might have brought him to the prison?
I'm not sure. He didn't really share anything with me at the time. He mostly kept it to himself. Maybe there are some, back at his home, there are some books there. His library and others, he might have a journal or two that you might be able to look at. I know he kept all of his stuff meticulously kept, and there might be some information in his will, maybe. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to look. I've been so busy dealing with things that I haven't had time.
Well, if your instincts say foul play is involved, that is what we can assume. So under that assumption, all we need to find is the details on why and how.
Squishy man from Dead People Place seemed to not like Professor.
They're simple folk. They farm and they take care of each other. My father was always a sort of outsider to them, but he did try and look out for everybody. He was well liked, at least among more of the city council and some of the others who took care of things. The council was there. That was some of them at the funeral, as well as the barkeeper's son and the alchemist, local alchemist. He was there too. Oh, Kravis will be right back.
Well, I would very much like to peruse the journal that he was keeping and some of his research notes, as this is certainly not a... I do know from my own experience with him that he was careful. I would agree with your particular assumptions that it was not natural.
I'm just waiting a little bit for Kravis to get back, but I think we can go a little bit more since we're just traveling. She's going to nod. Thank you. Once we get back to his home here, we can see about doing his will. Once that's taken care of and we learn what's in there, we can plan from that. And I truly am thankful that you're willing to help me and possibly look into this. No worries, Kravis. Welcome back. And soon you do make it back to Lorimir's home. It is a fairly large house. It is very nice looking. And she leads you inside. It's a modest home. There are bookshelves upon bookshelves upon bookshelves set up everywhere. And there are basically books covering every wall, from literally head to toe, in every room that you walk through. And there is, as you go inside, there's already someone else sitting at the table. Um, he looks to be around 15 or 16 years old. He is wearing leather armor, and he has what looks to be a longbow across his back. And he's just kind of casually sitting back against the chair, the front two legs of the chair off the ground, as he's just kind of waiting. He gives a small nod to Kendra as she comes in, and she doesn't seem actually that surprised to see him. As he kind of looks past her at you three as you guys come in and gives a very low whistle, especially when he sees Kravis.
So, out of curiosity,
Yes.
Yes.
how exactly is Kravis fitting inside the house?
Large creatures can fit into medium-sized areas. They just kind of have to squeeze a little bit.
He's hunched, shoulders in tight. His tail has probably already knocked over several stacks of books.
He's sticking his head in through the window like Pete's imaginary dragon thing.
Yeah, Kravis is like 8 or 9 feet tall, so he has to crouch a little bit to make sure he doesn't bump into anything.
What was it? I actually noted here. 9 feet 11 inches.
Okay, so yeah, he's almost 10 feet tall.
And 490 pounds.
He's a big boy. Well, wow. Color me surprised. I really wasn't expecting to see, well, I'm not really even sure what to call this yet. And that's saying something for me.
Yes, I am sure that my appearance is almost too majestic for your eyes.
I'm just gonna roll my eyes at that.
That is totally not something Oberus would say in character, but I couldn't help but say it.
If this guy's seeming interested in Kravis, he'll at least recognize enough that like he's the subject of this person's interest, so he's going to offer a giant claw. Kravis.
This teen shows no fear at all at Kravis offering that claw to him as he reaches out and casually takes it and gives it a shake. And he's surprisingly strong. He's not as strong as you are, Kravis, but definitely far stronger than most humans that you've ever met are.
Well, I'm not going to try and hurt them. But there will be this little bit of I will squeeze just enough to let them know that, yeah, I'm bigger.
So, might I ask your name? I am Oberus Fieldclair. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
You can call me Shay. I am the Slayer of Ustalov. Nice to meet you.
That is quite the title for one so young.
It picked me. I didn't pick it.
I assume that you knew the professor in some capacity.
Oh yeah, Old Man Lormir. I worked for him about 2 years ago when I first got this gig. I was with him quite often. At least when he was in Ustalov. I pretty much was his bodyguard 24/7. Real nice guy, honestly. Real good guy. I really liked him. When I found out that he died a few days ago, I got a letter from Kendra, and it was asking me to come here for the will reading. So here I am. Knowledge religion from all of you. This is common knowledge, so even if you are not trained in religion, you may make the roll.
I'll just go ahead and roll this because it's the only one on my sheet, and you know.
All mine are going to be the same bonus, so yeah, it's not religion, but
Holy crap!
what does a -1 get me? Is this like a Stack Overflow where it maxes out, or?
Can we have that roll from you, Dakro?
All of the rolls are bad.
Dakro, you recognize there is a crest on his hand that is almost seems to be glowing with faint, like almost sunlight. And you recognize the mark of what looks like a human figure with two outstretched wings curving around them as the mark of Serenre, goddess of sun, light, life, and redemption. This isn't a birthmark. It is actually glowing, and for anyone here who can detect magic, it does detect as magic. Divine magic. Powerful divine magic.
You know, speaking of magic, it just occurred to me that Dacro and I are going to be butting heads on a lot of things. Because not only does he fight in a way that I frown upon, but it's also the mystic class that I have. Basically, we're both sorcerers, except for me, my magic energy is applied to more martial things, whereas yours is more magic. And it is stated that mystics kind of butt heads with sorcerers because we look at each other as failed representations of what the magic really should be used for.
You know, I think it's very fitting for us to butt heads.
And neither of you know that Kravist has any magic at this point.
You're just a big lizard. You sit on them.
I can see it later on. Kravist, sit.
Well, at 500 pounds, they ain't moving.
I like that idea. Actually, if those guys come back, you're sitting.
Okay.
But yes, he just kind of leans back a little bit. So here I am. I saw what you guys did at the funeral. Good job dealing with that mob. I may or may not have probably tried to put a few arrows into them if they had tried anything on Kendra, but glad I didn't come to that.
If they touch Kendra, they would be splattered.
That
I like the way
probably
you
would
think,
not have
big
been
guy.
wise.
'Tis those of the noble houses' proper duty to deal with commoners. They simply do not understand the finer points of society as a whole.
And nobility sure doesn't seem to understand how commoners live.
Au contraire, my fine compatriot. I do have a keen understanding of it.
As you guys say that, there is a knock on the door as Kendra goes and opens it and leads an older man into the room. You recognize him. He's one of the men from the funeral. Councilman Vashian is his name, as Kendra introduces him. You all can get the sense that he doesn't necessarily approve of you all being here, especially the non-humans, because this should be a local matter, but it seems like he's willing to keep it to himself, not make a big fuss about it, and just focus on reading the will, which is what you all are here for. Kendra is going to wave for all of you to take a seat, as he's going to move to the head of the table. Kravitz,
She's ready to sit on the floor.
yeah, an area would be cleared out for you to sit down without breaking anything.
So I
As
sit on
we
the
hear
floor,
the-
and I'm still taller than everyone.
And we hear a small crack from the floor.
As Vashian is
Just
going
go
to
kill
reach into Vashian is going to reach into his vest and pull out a scroll case, and he's going to take a moment to show each of you a seal that is upon that case, which you all recognize as the professor's personal seal. Once he has shown each of you it, he is going to carefully break the seal and open the case. And as he does so, a small iron key is going to slide out of the tube and clatter noisily onto the table. However, he doesn't even seem bothered by that, as he ignores it and simply quickly begins to read. I, Petros Lorimir, being of sound mind, do hereby commit to this parchment my last will and testament. Let it be known that, with the exception of the specific details below, I leave my home and personal belongings entirely to my daughter Kendra. Use them or sell them as you see fit, my child. Kendra is going to smile a little bit and nod when she hears that. Yet, beyond bequeathing my personal effects, this document must serve other needs. I have arranged for the reading of this document to be delayed until all principals can be in attendance, for I have more than mere inheritance to apportion. I have two final favors to ask. To my old friends, I hate to impose upon you all, but there are few others who are capable of appreciating the true significance of what it is I have to ask. As some of you know, I have devoted many of my studies to all manner of evils, that I may know the enemy and inform those in better position to stand against them. For knowledge of one enemy is the surest path to victory over its plans. And so, over the course of my lifetime, I have seen it fit to acquire a significant collection of valuable but dangerous tomes, any one of which, in the wrong circumstances, could lead to the awkward legal situation. While the majority of these tomes remain safe under lock at the Lepidstadt University, I fear that a few I may have borrowed that are still in my trunk at my Ravengro home. While invaluable to my work in life, in death I prefer not to burden my daughter with the darker side of my profession, or worse still, the danger of possessing these tomes herself. As such, I am entrusting my chest of tomes to you posthumously. I ask that you please deliver the collection to my colleagues at the University of Lepidstadt, who will put them to good use for the betterment of the cause. Yet before you leave for Lepidstadt, there is the matter of another favor. Please delay your journey 1 month and spend that period of time here in Ravengro to ensure that my daughter is safe and sound. She has no one to count on now that I am gone, and if you would aid her in setting things in order for whatever she desires over the course of this month, you would have my eternal gratitude. From my savings, I have also willed to each of you a sum of 100 platinum coins for safekeeping. I have left these funds with Emberith Daramid, one of my most trusted friends in Lepidstadt. She has been instructed to issue this payment upon the safe delivery of the borrowed tomes no sooner than 1 month after the date of the reading of this will. I, Petrus Lorimier, hereby sign this will in Ravengro on the first day of Callistra in the year 40. And that is the will. And as soon as this man finishes reading the will, he rolls it up, returns it to its scroll case, sets it down, and Vashian is going to take a moment to look at Kendra and bow his head to her respectfully. I am terribly sorry for your loss. He will tell her before wishing you all a good day and departing as quickly as he can from the home.
Yes, do have a good day yourself.
Well,
Hello?
for a will reading, that was a little awkward.
Wait.
One moment, Timmy's headset seems to have shut off or something.
My headset died. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I was going to grab my charger.
So, since you guys can hear me through his laptop, he's stepping away for a moment. I went ahead and muted him on the Discord for the time being.
Technical difficulties.
Well, in the meantime, don't forget to check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We have links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Don't forget to check out our merchandise as well. You can find links for that on the website and in the description. We do have more stuff coming for the merchandise all the time, but the stuff that's there, by all means, check it out. It's very high quality merchandise. And you can enjoy it. Also, don't forget to consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. And, of course, you can also support the channel by sharing it. Absolutely, Karma. I'll get that done. I didn't realize you guys had such quests.
What's up?
Karma wanted me to do something with Stream Raiders.
a dink.
He's
Uh-oh.
trying to get it switched over. Apologies for this. Please stand by. Testing, testing, testing. Can you hear me? Oh, you're not even on
Yes, I
Discord
can.
right now. He wanted me to talk and test it, but...
Alright, can you try talking?
I can absolutely try talking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool.
Can you hear me now? Okay,
Yes.
it's on push to talk, that's why. Hang on a second. Okay, testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Excellent.
Test pass,
Okay,
test pass, test pass.
sorry about that, everyone. Back to action. So, what do you do now that you have been left alone?
I want to examine the key that just got left on the table and ignored.
It looks to be a old iron key. Kendra is going to look at all of you and smile. Well, it's probably going to take me a few weeks to decide what I'm going to do, if I'm going to sell the house here or remain here in Ravengro. But in the meantime, I'd be happy for all of you to stay here. We have a few extra rooms, and that'd be very easy for you guys all just to stay in. So you don't have to stay at the inn if you don't wish. There is a chest upstairs. I can go grab it if you want to. We can take a look at it.
Yes, I believe that might be a good place to begin.
She will nod. And she will head upstairs, leaving you all here alone for a few minutes.
I do
Provista's
kind of
gonna
hope
grab-
there are some ground floor rooms for Kravist here.
Well, worst case scenario, I can set up a tent in the field behind it.
I just don't want to be on a floor under the room you're in.
I was prepared for that as a player, so I specifically have a pavilion-sized tent. Can hold up to 10 people. I count as 4.
She soon returns with a very large chest, and it looks to be made of oak bound with iron bands. And she will very carefully set the chest up onto the table. And you can see a very heavy iron lock on it. One that almost looks sized for the key.
I guess we
Provista's
found
just
what the
gonna
key was for.
randomly try it. He's going to randomly try it. Oops, wrong button. And probably put it in upside down or backwards or something.
Hold on. It might be better if one of us were to try the key. Yes?
Okay. He'll try and give you the key.
I will take the key and try it in the chest.
Click. It opens very easily. You can see some dusty old tomes within it, and one relatively new one. And the newest tome that's sitting at the very top of it has on the cover the words "Read me now" scratched into the leather.
Olberus will take that and read it out.
All right, 1 second ago. Oof.
If you hear magic words, don't read, or if you see magic words, don't read those out loud.
All right, hang on. I am going to share with it. Inside that book, as you open it, you can see that there is, it looks to be his journal. And in it, you can see several entries that are circled with red ink. And I'm going to share you this information. This is the pages that are all in red ink that he has circled. You should be able to see it now, yes?
I can. Should I be reading it as a player, even though Kravist is illiterate?
Yeah, I figure one of you will read it out loud. So if someone wants to read it, go ahead.
I feel like letting the DM do it.
Let me get it open on my side real quick. Sorry, it's just not really wanting to open. Come on, computer, work with me. The lag. Okay, the first one is dated 10 years ago. The Whispering Way is more than just a cabal of necromancers. I see that now. Undeath is their fountain of youth. Uncovering their motivations does not place me at ease as I thought it might. Their desire to be eternal simply makes them more dangerous. Then, 2 months ago, it is as I feared. The Way is interested in something here in Ravengro. But what could it be? And then 1 month ago, let me move this over a little bit. There it goes. Whatever the Way seeks, I am now convinced their goal is connected to Harrowstone. In retrospect, I suppose it all makes sense. The stories they tell about the ruins in town are certainly chilly enough. It may be time to investigate the ruins, but with everyone in town already being so worked up about them, I'd rather not let the others know about my curiosity. There's plenty of folks hereabouts who already think I'm a demonologist or a witch or something ignorant, ignorant fools. Then 20 days ago. Come on, no, computer. Work with me. Work with me. There we go. 20 days ago. It is confirmed. The Way seems quite interested in something. No, strike that. Someone who was held in Harrowstone. But who specifically is the Way after? I need a list of everyone who died that night in the fire. Everyone. The Temple of Pharasma must have such a list. 18 days ago. I see now just how ill-prepared I was when I set out to Harrowstone. I am likely to have returned at all. The ghosts, if indeed they were ghosts, for I did not wait to find out, nor thought it prudent to investigate further, prevent me from tracing those strange symbols I found etched along the foundation. Hopefully on my next visit I will be more prepared. Thankfully, the necessary tools to defend against the spirits are here in Ravengro. I know that the Church of Pharasma used to store them in a false crypt in the Restlands, in the intersection between Everdeep and the Black Path. I'm not certain the current clergy even knows about the area that was hidden down below. If my luck holds, I should be able to slip in and out with a few borrowed items. And then the last one. This is the day he died. Tomorrow evening I return to the prison. It is imperative the way does not finish. My caution has already cost me too much. I am not sure what will happen if I'm too late, but if my theory is right, the entire town could be at risk. I don't have time to update my will. No, I'll leave it all here in the chest, and it'll be sure to be found should the worst come to pass. And that was the final entry into the book.
It seems the worst came to pass.
Someone did kill Fred.
Do you have any idea who the Whispering Way, or do we know what the Whispering Way is?
Make a knowledge religion for them. Come on. Maybe I can just do this. There we go. Dacro, you would know the Whispering Way is not really well known, but they are said to be a cult of necromancers obsessed with undeath. They were said to have been started back in the days of the original Whispering Tyrant, which is where they draw their name from.
Okay, I would relay this information. For I have heard a lot in my travels.
One moment. Otherwise, you don't know much more than the barest details. Give me a second real quick. I was also speaking. Shay is also going to nod as well as Dacro explains all this. Yeah, there's not much more to them. They're pretty much all crazy. I've dealt with them a couple of times in my travels. They're really big here in Ustalav. Obsessed with the Whispering Tyrant, undeath. They basically believe that they can all become just undead and, well, can do whatever the hell they want.
I don't think that's how it works, though.
Need to go get our other roommate. I'll be back in a bit.
Also, you can see there are a few other books that are also in the chest.
Do any have pictures?
No, they do not have pictures.
Then Kruvist isn't interested.
I'm sure if you ask Lady Kendra, she can find you a book of pictures.
But everyone's looking at these books, so I need to figure out if these books are interesting.
Dacro, do you look at the books?
You know what? I think I will. I'll go searching at least through the titles of the books to see what would be a good one for, figuring out what's going on in the prison.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry, my... There we go. Why are you... Sorry, my clock is going wonky. There we go. Okay. Inside, you can see 4 books, 4 very large tomes. One of them is titled Unverified Madness. This jet black book is a treatise on aberrations and other entities found on Galarian that possess remote ties to the Dark Tapestry, the name given to the dark places between the stars and the night sky. This is a book on Cthulhu.
I don't think that helps.
The next book is called Serving Your Hunger. This text is a copy of one of several unholy books sacred to the goddess Urgathoa, a goddess bent on serving undead, or she is a goddess of undeath, said to be the first being who ever left the Boneyards, Pharasma's realm, and came back as the first undead. She is obsessed with basically serving your every hunger and desire. And she is very, very not good. And if you take the time to kind of like look through the pages a little bit, you can see Lorimier has sprinkled in notations all throughout the margins of the book, his own little notes and such.
Yeah, I'm going to set that one aside for... I'm pretty sure it'll be useful for later.
And The Umbral Leaves. This lexicon is a translation into common of the unholy book of Zon-Kuthon. Zon-Kuthon is a god of insanity, madness, and pain. He is a god basically of torture. And also the brother of the goddess of beauty, life, and goodness. And then there is the 4th book. This one looks to have a rich purple cover, and it has a brass scarab set with a single eye in the center. There is an intricate lock holding the book shut, but there does not appear to be a key at all. You would probably have to pick the lock in order to try to open it.
Well, I am going to pull out my thieves' tools.
Okay. What is your disabled device?
It is a +8.
Okay, with a +2 from the tools.
I have Masterwork thieves' tools.
Oh, okay. So +4 then. You would. I won't make you roll because you can take 20 to do this. It would take about an hour of work, so while they're kind of sitting around talking a little bit and discussing things, you are kind of fiddling very carefully with this lock and working it over in order to try to get it. But eventually, click, you are able to pop the lock of the book and open it. What was that?
Eureka!
Looking inside of the book, it looks like as you take the time to kind of read through it a little bit, it looks like it's written in some sort of code.
Great, a code.
Mm-hmm.
That might take a while to decipher.
Kendra is going to come over and look at the book, flip through it a little bit, looking through it. It looks to have been written in Verizian. I know the language. I could try and translate this and figure it out.
Well, if you could work on that, that would be amazing. And in the meantime, we could work on figuring out what was going on at the prison.
She will nod. I will see what I can do. I will see about trying to translate this for you. Yeah, these 4 books are the books that you guys are supposed to deliver in a month's time to Lepidstadt.
Well, I'll put 2 of them back and keep the undead one out. And, of course, the one she's translating out.
Okay. So, what are you guys thinking of doing right now while we're waiting for Zim?
My first instinct is to try to go find the weapons to fight whatever's in that prison. Because if we are going to investigate it, we know we need to be prepared because he wasn't in one of his first journal entries. So if we could find where those weapons are, we would be prepared. And then,
She
of course,
nods.
going and investigating.
As you say that, though, too, she's also going to add, as she's kind of leafing through the book a little bit, there are a few areas in town, if you need to do research or such for anything, we could use my father's libraries here to try to do some research. Otherwise, at the town hall, there's all the information on the prison itself. And I'm sure the Temple of Pharasma has some information as well on what happened there for Harrowstone. And there's another area known as the Unfurling Scroll. It is a schoolhouse and magic shop. It's run by Alandru Goravan. It has a library as well, and it might be able to help out.
I would go to the Temple of Pharasma first, because he found a name there that worried him. Someone who died in the fire. So if we can find out who that was and what impact they have, that would give us an idea of what we're going up against. Because it does seem like this town is still at risk if he wasn't able to solve it.
And all this discussion is so far above Krivist's head, he's just sitting there nodding.
Is it bad? I just want to pet him.
No. So as you do that, if you look over, you can notice that Shay actually has a few books stacked next to him that he's kind of been leafing through while you guys were talking. And he's kind of going to look up. Give me a second. He's going to give a little bit of chuckle as he snaps the book shut, holds it up. So, back when I worked with Lormir, he was sort of an asshole with making sure I did research and such before I went to try to kill something. He always said that if I knew more about it, I'd be able to help out more and be able to fight things better. So he sort of drilled into me how to do research and such, even if it made me want to, put an arrow through my head. He gives a weak chuckle at that. But if you need Harrowstone information, I'm your guy.
You'll be.
I'm going to be waiting for Zim to come back to read this off because I actually made a check for him to do research, and he rolled really, really well.
That works.
So
You would probably be better for research than me. My skills lie in combat.
I thought you guys might need someone who has information, so I made sure he had information skills for this. Because it's like, otherwise, it's like, you guys might not be able to find anything out. And information is really, really important if you guys actually do anything in this. Also, Zim should be back any minute now. How are you guys enjoying so far? Literally, we've only been through the graveyard. That's the thing. There's a lot of focus on like characters and such in this game. That's one of the reasons I like it.
We've already almost been in a fight.
You would have been in a fight if you hadn't made that diplomacy roll.
It wouldn't have been a fight, it would have been a massacre.
Don't kill them, please. Bad things happen if you do.
See, I'm not even sure if my character has the wherewithal to do non-lethal damage.
That's fair. Also, I hope everyone else that's in the stream right now is enjoying the game too. We're still in the very beginning, so we haven't even got into really anything yet.
This is our session 0.
Actually, no, this is actually the session 1. This is all session 1 right here.
Huh.
One second. Hey Aram, give me either a knowledge local or a knowledge history roll.
I roll low.
You have you have the thing, so you get a little bit of a bonus. Yep, pretty much what you've kind of figured out already. As you're kind of leafing through a few books, The Whispering Way is a sinister organization of necromancers that has been active in the inner sea region where you guys are for thousands of years. That's pretty much all you really know here. We need Zim to come back so I can relay this info to you guys. And then we're going to decide where we want to go from here. So is everyone doing okay so far?
Yep.
I hope everyone on the stream is doing decently too. Sorry for the little pause, real quick. Just gotta wait for Zim to get back. He should be back here any minute now. So where do you want to go, Kravis, once you guys are done doing a little bit of research today?
The character would want to find the person who killed the professor and kill them.
Okay.
He's a fairly simple beast. He also has no social graces or social cues, so it is entirely possible that, especially with, say, the professor with the rapier, I can see Zim's character, challenging someone to a duel and honorable combat. And the second the fight starts, Kravis is just gonna charge into the field.
Yeah, I might just take you with me to look for the weapons to fight whatever ghosts there are in there.
Okay.
You're good at digging, right?
I assume so. I think dig is just based on strength, isn't it?
Yes. Though
Well,
this
if we
is an
need to
actually,
dig.
this would be actually one of the tombs.
Oh, like those building things?
Yes.
Okay, so if we need to break into it, if I somehow fail my disable device, then yeah, you can just rip off the door.
Yeah, so we have the lock pick and the lock break. And if that
Yes.
fails, we have the wall break.
So, question then.
I do plan on going down the Sunder route with this character as well.
Nice. Are you guys gonna go to the Church of Pharasma and the father and tell them about this and ask for permission for this?
Yeah, that would probably be a good idea.
Kravis isn't going to do any of that because, to him, he treats these people about as well as they want to treat him.
Mm-hmm. He was respectful to you.
He was respectful. That's the only reason I'm going to ask. But if he says no, I'm still doing it.
Fair. Welcome,
There's a reason
welcome.
I'm not lawful.
Hello. What?
I have returned.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. So, allow me to catch you. We went through the books that were in the trunk, and right now we have Kendra attempting to decipher one of the books, the only book that had a lock on it. And while you guys actually were doing that, Shay was going through the personal tomes of the professor and basically said that, well, when he was working with the professor, he had to do a lot of research with him because the professor basically drummed into him that if he knew what he was fighting, he would live longer. So he got to be pretty good at it. And he found a book on Harrowstone, and I was waiting for you to return so I could relay what he learned. So if anyone wants to take notes or anything, I can also bring this up for you guys. This is what he's going to be telling you guys about Harrowstone Prison. Harrowstone is a ruined prison, partially destroyed by a fire in 4661. So it was about almost 60 years ago that this happened. The building has stood vacant ever since. The locals suspect that it is haunted and don't enjoy talking about the place. It was built back in 4594. Ravengro was founded at the same time as a place where the guards and their families could live and that could produce food and other supplies used by the prison. The fire that killed all the prisoners and most of the guards destroyed a large portion of the prison's underground east wing. Oh, hang on a second. But left most of the stone structure above relatively intact. The prison's warden perished in the fire along with his wife, although no one knows why she was in the prison when the fire first occurred. A statue commemorating the warden and the guards who lost their lives was built in the months after the tragedy. The statue still stands on the riverbank just outside of town. Also, some of the information that you guys would now know is most of the hardened criminals sent to Harrowstone spent only a few months in prison for it. It was here that most of Usilov's executions during that area were carried out. The fire that caused the tragedy was, in fact, a blessing in disguise, for the prisoners had rioted and gained control of the prison's dungeons immediately prior to the conflagration. It was only through the self-sacrifice of Warren Hochgren and 23 of his guards that the prisoners were prevented from escaping, and the guards gave their lives to save the town of Ravengro. Also, this is the big stuff here. At the time Harrowstone burned, there were 5 particularly notorious criminals who had recently arrived at the prison. While the commonly held belief is that the tragic fire began accidentally after the riot began, in fact, the prisoners had already seized control of the dungeon and been in command of the lower levels for several hours before the fire. Warren Hochgren had triggered a deadfall to seal the rioting prisoners in the lower level, but in doing so trapped himself and nearly 24 guards down below. The prisoners were in the process of escaping when the panic guards accidentally started the fire in a desperate end to end the riot and stop them. And it appears that most of the later stuff and information was information that the professor had dug up himself and left in these books as little notes that he had done.
So, possibly some very angry, very powerful ghosts that are still there.
And this is why I want to get weapons.
He's going to nod a little bit. Shay's going to kind of leaf through the book a little bit more. If you guys want, I can try and do research on like these prisoners here. See what I can find out about them.
Yes, I believe that would be a very prudent choice. We're going to need to have more information to finish the professor's work on the prison.
It looks like the cat here also wanted to go back to the Restlands in order to get the catch of items.
Yes, I wanted to try to talk to Father Grimborough and see if we could get permission to look for the cache of weapons, which would allow us to easily fight them.
I can stay here and keep doing the research on the prisoners and see what I can find out. See if there's anything important about them. While you guys are going to the area to investigate if you want.
Okay.
So it's going to be about 4 or 5 p.m. now. Do you guys want to wait for a day, or do you guys want to head over there now?
I think it would be best to stay the night here.
Okay. So let me check something real quick. I need to check something. Okay. So you guys are just going to spend the night then for right now?
Yeah, we can go in the morning.
Okay. Nothing happens through the night. You guys are each given a room by Kendra. Kendra seems to be very obsessed with this book. Like, not like obsessed. It's like, ooh, this is a challenge, and I want to solve this challenge and figure out what it is. Though she has said if you guys need help researching anything, she is willing to assist you with that as well.
So very adamant that I don't sleep in a room that's under the room Kravist is in, because I don't want to be crushed.
I suspect
So-
Travis is given something on the ground floor.
Yeah. So, the next morning, when you guys wake up, Kendra is there, and her face is white. Her face is absolutely white. You could you guys come with me?
Okay.
Absolutely. Where would you like us to absolutely go?
She's going to lead you guys out to. I'm going to move your guys' tokens real quick. Here. To the town square. And you will see there is a large monument set up here as well of what looks like 2 stone guards and a older man in very nice looking, what probably would have been very nice looking armor had it been real. And there is blood splattered upon the statue. And across the base of it, you can see the letter V written in blood. And you can hear the townspeople all around looking at this in shock and just stunned by it.
Do we have any idea what the V might stand for?
Likely not right now, no.
This
But
does
it looks
not
like it
bode
was
well.
written in blood.
Is the blood still fresh?
No, it looks to be about 8 or 9 hours old.
Okay.
Now my question is, explain.
That
Krivist is gonna
Orem?
ask who did this.
Orem!
What?
I asked what you said.
I asked, my question is, did someone get slain? And if so, who?
Doesn't look like there's any signs of bodies, but I will let you guys make a survival check.
First character in a very long time that does not actually have survival.
Wow. You are able to
Would
you are
Krivist,
able to find some footprints.
would Krivist, being a blood mage, be able to know if this is human blood or animal blood?
It is, yes, I will allow that because you do work with blood as a blood kineticist. This is animal blood, specifically rat blood.
Alright, Krivist is going to whisper this to the party and... Callista, was it?
Kendra.
Kendra. He'll also ask, want it clean?
Note, you guys would be able to watch. The townsfolk have tried to clean this V off of the statue. It's not coming off.
Is there a
So,
magical
but-
presence here? I don't know if my mystic side would be able to tell that, but...
Alberis and Dacro, you both are more magically inclined. Yes, there is magic around this letter.
Alright, Krivist is going to try and lift the blood directly off because he can manipulate and maneuver blood. So he's going to try and just pull the blood directly off using his
Nothing
blood
happens.
ability.
You can feel a very powerful magical charge within this blood, within this letter. It doesn't feel like it's an actual spell itself, but it feels like it is a charge, like it's a battery waiting to lash out at something. For you, Kravist.
Hmm. But I will tell the party that it's rat blood, not human blood.
Can I detect magic on it to see what type of magic it is?
Yes, you may.
Then I shall do that.
Make a spellcraft roll for me.
What is with all my low rolls? I haven't rolled above a 10 yet. Except that one 13.
You are okay. It's only a DC 10. This looks like it is powerful evocation magic. It looks like, again, like I told Kravis, this looks like it's a charge for something, though, not like an actual spell itself. For us, this is more like the charge for a bomb, without like the detonator being put in yet.
This is not good. We need to see if we can find a way to remove this or at least clear the area of people.
But you are specifically Alberis. You are able to find some tracks leading out. It's not following the main path. It's cutting through like the backyards and the fields rather than going through like a normal path someone would have taken.
Barris will follow the tracks, try and figure out where exactly they came from. With his, roll here.
Mm-hmm. It looks like it leads north.
I will follow it. Assuming the rest of the party comes with.
Yeah, I will follow.
Yeah. Well, the other question is Krivist following, or is he taking you guys with the...
Just following. We wouldn't have brought the carriage for this.
So, as you guys go, the tracks lead up to what look like to be a shack. And can I have a perception roll from everybody? Wait, Kravis, do you still have your ability going that you were using before for blood?
Yeah, so it's actually, I can sort of detect blood naturally.
Okay. That is actually extremely important here, actually, which is why I asked. So as you guys are approaching this hut, Kravis, you are detecting very, very strong traces of blood coming behind a pile of firewood out behind the small huts.
Alright, so he'll sort of follow his nose or his sense on that one. So while the rest of the party's probably looking towards the front door, Crevice is just walking around the side to the pile of wood. Found something.
Old Barris will follow. He's got a hand on his rapier, ready to draw it.
I
As
will
you-
have my deck out.
As you guys move to the back, you guys can see hidden and almost thrown haphazardly behind the pile of firewood is a bloodstained war razor and a large water skin that is filled to the brim with dried blood.
Wait, a bloodstained what?
War razor.
Have
Have you ever seen Sweeney Todd? Basically, you know, like a normal old style razor that you would use to shave? It's like that, only its blade is reinforced and actually made for fighting in battle. What do you do, though?
Am I able to manipulate this blood?
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Alright. So as you guys are watching, Crevice is sort of gonna poke the bucket of blood, and it goes from this crusted, basically scab, and it just looks fresh again. It looks flowing. And this is rat's blood again, is it?
Yes.
No, say more rat blood.
One. Okay, you are more than just sit on bad guy. And two, rat blood. More of it. Where'd they get all the rats for all this blood?
I'm just gonna let you know, probably from like the barns and such around here, there's probably quite a few rats. If someone took an hour to catch, they could have gotten enough to do it.
Okay, my next question is why? Also, I'm going to detect magic. If that thing was the charge, then could this be the trigger?
Well, Barris is going to, so this is right next to a little shack, or...
This is next to what probably passes as a house.
Alright, I'm gonna look through any windows in the house.
Okay. Yeah. Dacro, you do not detect any magic on these items itself. It doesn't look like this itself is magical. Oberis, as you are doing it, you hear the front door open, and you see the man from before, the one who accosted and yelled at Kendra, come out looking sleepy and tired, like he didn't get a good night's sleep the day before. And he kind of rubs his eyes before looking at you three. What the hell are you three freaks doing on my property?
Alright, now Crevisti's going to just grab him and initiate Operation Sit.
Careful now. We do not want to harm him, you know?
That's why
Well,
it's
he's not
grab
too
and sit.
bad.
What the hell are you think you're doing, you beast?
Now, before I allow my friend here to crush you, might you explain why you left blood on the statue in the town circle?
What the hell are you talking about? I ain't do no such thing.
Oberus will pull out his rapier and gesture towards the trail that we followed over here, pointing out all the little, broken blades of grass and branches and footprints and such that he followed.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I ain't doing nothing. I just was sleeping.
And then...
Clearly, no, you weren't. If you were this tired in the morning. You've been up all night.
I just been having some nightmares, okay?
I thought you just said you were sleeping all night.
I was, but I had some nightmares. But I was sleeping.
You really should go ahead and inform us of what you actually were doing. Kravist here is not known for his patience. Are you, Kravist?
No.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't know what you're talking about. What Raiden?
There was a V painted in blood on the statue, and there is... Mike!
Oh, sorry.
We'll get him used to this one of these days.
Distracted him with food.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Sorry.
You can let them know he's having crabs so they're jealous.
Chim would like you all to know that Timmy is having crab. Apparently that is supposed to make you all jealous. I personally just find
I'm
it...
jealous. I can't have some food.
I just find it smelly and gross myself, but okay.
Heretic.
I mean, Jaffer doesn't like it either. Alright.
Well, heretics. Continue though.
What the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, Kravist, maybe an intimidation check?
I'm actually not good at intimidation.
How?
8 charisma.
You know, I have never understood why intimidation was a charisma check.
I agree.
It always feels like something that could be charisma, but also strength, or even constitution could fit for it.
If DM is willing to let me, I can swap it from charisma to strength.
I am willing.
Cool. In that case, that would be where I put my skill point. It's just gonna get a growl.
A very intimidating growl! Timmy is distracted eating his evil food.
And Kravist is going to grab one of this guy's arms and just grip a finger.
This poor man is going to start screaming and begging. I don't know, okay? I swear, I don't know.
So are you saying that you were framed? For we see the blood here, we see the path leading here from the square, or circle, whatever you call it, and The evidence is very damning towards you.
He is completely telling the truth. He is terrified out of his mind, is trying to tell you it is the truth. Can I have a knowledge religion roll?
No, you cannot, because I am tired of these. I don't have that skill.
I'm just gonna roll a knowledge whatever, since mine are all the same.
That's what I do as well.
They're all at -3 for me, so
Ooh, shiny. However,
well, at the moment,
though,
Travis is trying to figure out if I should just pull the finger off or if I should bite the finger off.
Dacro, when Ulrich says that he seems to be telling the truth, you realize and remember something based on what you guys were talking about the night before. If undead or ghosts are involved with this, like the hauntings that he said he experienced from the journal, ghosts can possess the living.
I am going to cast Disrupt Undead on him.
Nothing happens.
Okay.
But it is clear now he is telling the truth. He has no idea what's going on right.
Alberus will just gesture to Kravist. Go ahead and stand up. He clearly does not actually know anything.
Okay. He's going to stand up.
Not knowing that, not thinking about the possession, I'm gonna look for more tracks that might be leading elsewhere from here.
Wait. He could have been possessed. And then he wouldn't remember anything.
Possessed? I suppose that would be a possibility indeed. A very unfortunate one.
Tell me, what type of nightmares did you have? What were they about?
I don't really remember him, honestly. He's kind of looking at Kravis in absolute terror.
Travis is going to give him that smile again. Trying to be nice.
Yeah, he's freaking out a little bit.
How often have you been having these nightmares?
Last night was the first night.
It seems like something's being started to be set in motion, and we probably need to stop it fast.
If he was possessed and doing something, if you guys could keep him locked up or under guard, whenever it happened, you might be able to stop him, but that could be dangerous. Unless, say, like, you had him thrown in prison or such.
Well, there's also no guarantee that he'd get possessed again.
But if you kept him imprisoned, then there wouldn't be much he could do. If he
So
was
instead
possessed.
of keeping him imprisoned, if we want to see if he's actually getting possessed, we could just keep him under watch.
In that case, you just have to be careful of the ghost going after you.
We could try getting some blessings from the church to keep us safe. And if he's under possessed, he'll probably need them too afterwards. Because, I mean, the church does deal with the undead things, so they would probably have something to help us.
What the hell are you guys talking about? Ghosts? Possessions? What?
Nothing for you to worry your little head about.
No, that is not how you handle a commoner. You see, there are ghosts, as you are well aware in this land, undead of all manner, and you seem to have been the target of a possession by one such ghost, meaning that he took over your body and made you act against your will. Those nightmares of yours fairly well indicate that you were under the effects of such a thing. The best bet would be to put you either under a watch or possibly into a jail cell to ensure that you do not cause harm to anyone should said ghost attempt to take over your body yet again.
Honestly, I'd rather use him as bait, and the ghost won't go for bait that's already captured.
He just seems very, very, very confused and very nervous. It doesn't help that he looks to be very tired.
Grievous is just going to pat his head.
Do I even have a choice?
Oh, you absolutely get a choice between one of those options. Unless you would prefer to go and possibly murder someone. It is your choice.
Whatever you apparently set down there is a charge. It's not activated yet, but whatever it does, I don't think it'll be good for anyone.
I don't know no magic. I was a soldier once, sure, but like I don't do any of that stuff. I'm just a farmer now.
This would not be something that you yourself did, but as you can see from your own fellow people, you tend to react negatively to anything without actually looking into the facts. Do you disagree on that?
He just snorts and looks away from you.
If you were to kill someone while under the possession of a ghost, do you believe that your fellow villagers would consider you guilty or innocent?
He kind of goes wide at that. Guilty.
Therefore, for your protection, as well as the protection of the rest of the village, I am offering you these options. We watch you in case you are possessed again and stop you before you do something dangerous to the rest of the people here, or we put you into a jail cell. I am certain that there is a cell of some manner in this village, no matter how small it may be.
I'll take the prison. I'd rather be there than with running you freaks.
Very well, then.
I guess fair enough.
Where is the jail? We will escort you there.
It is right on down. Oh, don't move it. It's right on down over here. Right next to the courthouse. And as you guys are going, you see a group of kids playing a jump rope game. And as you're walking by, you can hear them singing a song. Put her body on the bed, take a knife and lop her head. Watch the blood come out the pipe, feeds the surge so nice and ripe. Drops of red so sparkly bright, splatters spell her name just right. With the hammer killed his wife, now he wants to claim your life. Tricksy father tells a lie, listen closer, you will die.
Where is that rhyme from?
Are you asking that in character?
Yes, I'm going to turn and ask the guy. Where is that rhyme from?
One second. He just kind of gives shrugs. One sec. He just gives a little shrug. It's a song that the kids have been singing forever around here.
Just the kids?
I mean, it's a skipping song for skipping rope.
Do you know where they learned it from?
Just sort of passed down as far as I know. I knew it when I was a kid. If you guys want to hear it again, I can tell you it again if you wish.
Can you put it in the chat as well?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a name going to be spelled, and it's been started. We only have a limited amount of time. I want to find out where that rhyme comes from. We need to see if we can get that researched.
It's almost like you have someone researching stuff. Boop.
Yep.
I am getting all of the rhyme put over for you guys to be able to read.
What's a sturge?
A sturge is basically like a giant mosquito.
Oh.
Aren't they commonly associated with undead?
Yep.
Forget if they are actually undead, but yeah.
And as you guys make it there, 1 second. Where is it? Okay, as you guys make it to the prison, there's a man there. He has a rifle and a duster, sheriff's badge across his chest, and he kind of looks at you three and the guy. Gibbs, what the hell do you three have with him? He doesn't seem hostile, just like, what's going on here?
Oh,
We require a self-courtesy.
This individual was, we highly believe he was possessed by a spirit, a ghost, and forced to paint this statue out front here with blood. There is a high possibility that it will happen again, and therefore it is prudent that he be put into a protective custody to protect both himself and the village as a whole.
You see the guy kind of tapping one arm and considering things. Is this true, Gibbs? Do you guys have any proof at all?
The path and tools that led straight to his house.
Yeah.
You have bucket of blood at house.
The bucket of blood, the tool, the path. There's also... I mean, yeah, that's basically it.
Sheriff Caller is going to nod slightly. Alright. Protective custody, you said? Alright, come on, Gibbs. We can have you stay here at least a couple of nights. See if there's any of this so-called possession stuff going on. At the very least, well, we'll get to see if anyone else is going to do that. There's something afoot here, so... He kind of looks at you three. I heard from some of the councilmen what you did up in the graveyard. Thank you for holding your hands against that little mob. I can tell from the way you guys hold yourselves, you guys can probably take care of yourselves. So, thanks for not hurting any of them and trying to talk it out.
Absolutely. I personally see no reason to shed innocent blood, simply going by what they believe in, even if their belief may have been misguided.
He's going to nod and take Gibbs from you, and he's going to lead him inside.
Okay, I think we should have at least one person watching him and someone watching the square, just in case whoever is doing the possessing gets someone else. I just find it logical to have one person here because the ghost clearly knows magic, so if it possesses him, it might be able to get out. And maybe Kravis watching the square because he seems to be able to sense blood, which means if someone's coming to make another letter.
I would say one of us be in both places, and Kravis, of course, watching the square, yes.
Okay.
Seeing as how these are very close, I do not believe that it will be too dangerous on either side of us, but as we are very close to each other, but it is still prudent.
We should also see if we can find the origin of that rhyme, because it just seems to fit too right now.
Agreed. We will take it to insert daughter's name here.
Kendra?
Kendra. I am terrible with names.
You're good.
But yes. Take it to her.
Okay. You guys still have... It's only been like an hour right now, so it's like 10 a.m. right now, so you guys still have plenty of time to do what you wish to do. What do you guys want to do? Did you want to go back and report to Kendra and Shay, or do you want to head to the graveyard?
I want to head to the priest, see if we can get the weapons.
Dacro wanted to go investigate talk to the church about the secret item stash that might be in the graveyard, and see if they can get permission to try to find it.
I would say first, we go to Kendra, get the research going, and then, since it may take some time, we can go over to the graveyard to begin our search.
Okay. So, as you guys make it back to Kendra's house, her and Shay are look to be buried in what appears to be a giant mountain of books.
Is this a new elemental? The book elemental?
Shay is going to poke his head up out of a stack of books from where he was sitting at. No, she's just helping me right now with some research so we could try to get it done faster. We started to look into those names that you guys were talking about. And we might have a couple of leads for you guys.
Okay.
Do share, yes.
All right. As he starts to gather up some notes and basically reams upon reams of pages that he'd gotten. Here's what we've got. So it looks like Harrowstone was originally only meant to house the local criminals, but as the prison got more and more famous, other countries and even like far distant lands began paying to have more dangerous criminals housed within the walls. At the time of the fire, the number of particularly violent or dangerous criminals that were in the prison at the time was at an all-time high down in the dungeons. The 5 most notorious prisoners in the Harrowstone at the time of the fire, they were named Father Charlatan, the Lopper, the Moss Marauder, the Piper of Illamarsh, and the Splatterman. Which one do you want to hear about first? Because trust me, they are a doozy.
I think we just solved something thanks to that.
What's up?
The Lopper, the Piper, the Splatter, the Father. That's the rhyme.
Rhyme? And Kendra's going to speak up and nod. Yeah, there's been a rhyme going around here for a couple of decades now it's an old nursery rhyme for like skipping rope or playing games for the children. And
What kind of children's rhyme is that, by the way?
I will never understand the appeal for commoners to make such gruesome tales into childhood nursery rhymes.
Okay, so which of the 5 do you guys want to hear about first? There's not a ton about them, but we were able to dig up some stuff.
Well, the rhyme starts at the Lopper, so let's try that one.
Okay, so he starts going through his notes. Let's see. The Lopper. There he is. Okay. His real name was Vance Stetressel. And apparently, when the Lopper stalked prey, he would hide in the most unlikely of places, sometimes for days upon end, with only a few supplies to help keep him going, as he waited for the exact right moment to strike. And once his target was alone, the Lopper would emerge to savagely behead his victim with a hand axe. That's pretty much all we really got from him. He killed a lot of people, and he basically would behead them and then keep their heads.
But rhyme says knife. You say axe. Who wrong?
I just have the notes here that I have from my books. But otherwise, I would say he sounds like a real piece of work. Probably would be definitely undead material if he did become one. Who would you want to hear about next?
How about the Piper?
Whew. Okay. Hyperville Marsh. We don't know his real name. Never heard it. But apparently, before he snatched his victims, he would taunt his targets with a mournful dirge from his flute. He would actually use magic to paralyze lone victims by dosing their meals or by using magic. And he used a substance usually known as lich dust. And trust me, that's nasty, nasty stuff. And once they were paralyzed, he would let his pet Sturgis drink his victims dry.
Definitely not a nice one, for sure.
Who do you want to hear about next?
Splatter was third.
Oof. Trust me, he was the worst of the worst.
Oh, jeez, of course.
Real name, Han Ferriman, the Splatter Man. Professor Ferriman was a celebrated scholar of anthroponophemastics. Apparently, that's like the study of personal names and their origins. At the Cortifax Archives in Caliphus, quite a bit away from here. But an accidental association with a succubus twisted and warped his study, turning it into an obsession. Ferriman became obsessed with the power of a name and how he could use it to terrify and control. Oh, sorry. Sorry. My ears were getting a little stuffy. Ferriman became obsessed with the power of a name and how he could use it to terrify and control. Soon enough, his reputation was ruined, he had lost his tenure, and he developed an uncontrollable obsession with an imaginary link between a person's name and what happens to that name when the person dies. Every few days, he would secretly arrange for his victim to find a letter from their name written in blood, perhaps smeared on a wall or spelled out with a carefully arranged entrails. Once he had spelled his victim's name, he would at last come for them, killing them in a gory mess using a complex trap or a series of rigged events meant to look like an accident.
That is good to know.
I have a feeling that's the one that possessed our guy over there right now.
He was a pretty powerful wizard from what I can tell before he died. I don't know how much magic or power he would have dead, but I know he probably has some of his magic left.
Probably enough to set a charge in the central square. I just wish I knew what it did.
Well,
Who in town have V in name?
Kendra is going to speak up. That was something I started to do a little bit of research in once Shay here found out about the Splatter Man. There's no one here who starts with V. At least none that I was able to find. At least they're still alive. There was one name I was able to find, though, that starts with a V. That is tied to Hairstone Prison.
And who
And
is
had a
that?
character that was Lopper, wasn't it?
What?
The Lopper? His name started with V, was it?
No, actually, someone else than that. Not a fellow prisoner.
The guardsman.
Vesserona is her name. She is the wife of the warden. She also died at that prison with him and the other soldiers who were there.
And out of character, I remember the story said that no one knew why she was at the prison that day.
Correct. No one knows why she was at the prison that day.
I'm starting to feel a conspiracy. Now, who are the last two? The father and who was the other one?
Father Charlatan. Sevik Corvin is his real name. Of the 5 prisoners, he's probably the only one that can't really technically be considered a murderer, but his crimes were so blasphemous that several churches demand he be punished to the fullest extent of Ustalovic law. Though he claimed to be an ordained priest of any number of faiths, Father Corvin was in fact a traveling con artist who used faith as a mask and a means to bilk the faithful out of money in payment for false miracles or cures. He became known as Father Charlatan after his scheme was exposed and his Skaznari accomplices murdered a half-dozen city guards in an attempt to make good the group's escape before they were caught. Skaznari are basically a criminal group in Galarian, around this area. Think like the Mafia.
Trixie father tells a lie.
Listen close or you will die.
Sorry,
Sorry, go
go ahead.
I'm
ahead.
gonna go ahead and answer Karma's question on voice. So right now we are going through... Mike? We are going through several criminals that were being held at the prison. They were really nasty people, and we're just kind of figuring out information about them.
We're matching them to the rhyme.
So who was the last one?
The last one, the Mosswater Marauder. I kind of almost feel bad for this guy. Ispin Onyx Cudgel is his name. He was a dwarf. Only 5 years before his hometown of Mosswater was destined to be overrun and ruined by monsters from the nearby river, Ispin Onyx Cudgel was a well-liked artisan and a doting husband. When he discovered his wife's infidelity, he flew into a jealous rage and struck her dead with his hammer, shattering her skull and his sanity with one murderous blow. Racked with shame and guilt for what he had done, he became convinced that he could rebuild his wife's skull and that she would come back to life if he did so. But unfortunately, he could not find the last blade-shaped fragment from the murder site, so instead Ispin became the Mosswater Marauder. Over the course of several weeks, the cunning dwarf stalked and murdered nearly 20 people while looking for just the right skull fragment. He was captured just before murdering the daughter of a visiting nobleman from Varno, and he was carted off to Harrowstone the same night.
And that's the last piece in the rhyme. Do we have an origin for it?
A couple of decades ago, that's when it started about, as far as I know. 30, 40 years ago, maybe.
After the prison burned?
Yes, after the prison burned.
This really worries me.
And from what my father said in his journal, it seems Harrowstone really is haunted if he was willing to steal supplies from the church in order to try to go there again.
I
He
can
said he was
guarantee it.
enough with it.
Right. I can almost guarantee it right now. We know the splatter's around. We just need to see if he strikes again tonight. I want to know what they're planning over there, though, and why your father was so worried about it being risky for the town and what is going down now.
Well, you can go to the prison. It's not that far from here. It's only maybe a half hour's walk from the town.
I would agree this would be probably our best course of action to investigate it. However, there was supposed to be some equipment that was hidden inside of the graveyard.
One of the tombs. We'll have to ask the father for permission to get in.
Shay's gonna close the book he was looking through. I can come with you guys if you want. I might be able to offer a little bit of assistance. I've been through these parts a couple of times beforehand and helped out when I was needed.
The more the merrier. Plus, he might be more willing to talk to someone of his own race than us.
Yeah.
Not saying he's judgmental, but yeah.
Father's tough but fair. If you show that you're a good person, he'll help you out, but the people here can be stiff. They gotta be with the things that can crawl around in the dark.
Well then, let us be off. To the graveyard, your accompaniment would be much appreciated.
Off we go then. Alright, give me a second while I get this open. Where's my thingy at? There's my thingy. Thingy! Are you guys having fun so far?
Yes.
I love puzzle solving, even though I'm not sure if I'm actually solving it, but I love putting pieces in when they don't really fit, but I'm shoving them in with a hammer.
Actually, oh, hang on. Real quick, before I keep going. For everyone, this is what the sheriff looks like while I'm getting the cemetery.
It's McCree! It's high noon.
Yeah, that's what the guy you talked to looks like. Okay, here we go. There's the map I was looking for. So I'm gonna move your tokens back over here to the map. So, what do you guys do as you guys get to the cemetery?
Going to the father.
Okay. And as you guys are making your way across, you can see people visiting graves of their lost ones, leaving flowers. You can see acolytes tending to the graves. and taking care of them. It's a very peaceful place. But as you guys are moving, you hear screams begin to erupt. As from some of the graves, you can see undead begin to climb and press their way out of the ground.
Are those just tokens, or have you actually added them to the combat tracker?
They're in the combat tracker now.
I can't see the map.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry. 1 second.
that's why I was double checking.
Boop. Can you see it now?
I can see the map, but you didn't. Did you actually add them to the combat tracker? They're not on
They're
there
hidden
for
right
us.
now. They're hidden on right now.
Okay.
Okay, because normally if they're hidden, we can't see them on the map either.
For some reason, the tokens are showing up by themselves. I'm not sure why, but yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Shay is going to immediately draw his bow, and he's going to look at you guys. We need to evacuate these people from here before these things go after them. I can take care of that if you guys want to face them.
Squish time.
Yes, we will take care of the undead. You focus on moving these people out. I doubt they would trust us anyways.
As
I
two other
will
undead
flourish my
begin-
dagger.
As two other undead begin to rise out, missing a beat, he immediately draws his bow back, pulls out 2 arrows, and launches them both, hitting both zombies squarely in the head and destroying them before they can rise. He nods. Don't get yourselves killed. I'll get these people out of here, and then I'll try to come back and help you.
By the time you come back, they'll already be dealt with. And I'm
That's
just
what I'm hoping.
going to pull out my rapier in one hand and my dagger in the other and just flourish them and let them be all sparkly.
I'm just going to
And-
rage and charge.
He is going to take off running, helping to get some of these people away. And roll initiative, everyone, please. All right, Obris, you are first.
I shall advance. And let's see. Now, 2 of my maneuvers are not available at the start. So that one. And that one. Is slightly problematic. Alright. I am going to use Disturbing Blow against this one. Oh, they're not tied to the combat tracker icons, but I can use the combat tracker.
So for that, if you delete the tokens from the map and drag the token from the combat tracker onto the map, they'll be tied.
Okay. Give me just a second, and I shall do that. I'm still learning all of this stuffs.
I also
That's
don't
alright.
believe that Fantasy Grounds took into account the difference between small and medium-sized weapons. Because I'm pretty sure a rapier should be more than a 1d6.
Nope, rapier is 1d6.
I could have sworn it was more. Super. Oh, I guess it is 1d6. Lame! Well, he takes that and suffers a -4 penalty to his next d20 roll of any kind.
1 second. There it is.
Did forget to set some of the settings up, so I'll fix that for next time, but right now we can actually see when we hit and how much damage we actually do.
Alright, so you did... three damage to him.
Did automatically apply the damage.
Okay.
It does say they're partially resisted, so it did note that it has damage reduction.
Mm-hmm.
And then offhand fire. And the skeleton.
That...
The hell kind of armor class does a skeleton have?
That's
Well,
what I'm checking real quick.
It says miss, but also technically as a firearm, it would be touch.
That's
yeah,
that's
that's
why
it.
that's why I'm checking it real quick for you to let you know. That does hit it.
I
That is
charge
dead.
forth, stab my rapier into the eye of the stab my rapier into the eye of the zombie, and then with my off, just casually pull my pistol out of my coat and shoot it at the skeleton.
And its head just shatters into dust.
You need to click the little circle to the left of my name on the combat tracker. There we go. Alright, turn done.
Okay. So how do I get so it applies the damage automatically to their health? Because it wasn't before.
To their health?
Yeah, or do I just have to do that from here?
It should be doing it automatically.
Yeah. Like the zombie we
it-
can see is wounded. Did you have to type in the 3 manually?
Oh, okay, I see. It shows up in the wounds, but it doesn't actually take off from their HP.
No, so the
that's
HP is
a-
their total HP.
Yeah. The way
Okay,
fantasy...
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, most systems have their HP go down, but with this one, it tells you their max HP, but then you have wounds. And once the wounds meet the HP, that's when they are out of HP.
Okay, I see. Okay, so I'm just gonna make that that skeleton disappear, as I did, I believe.
Yep.
Okay, then Mr. Skeleton is going to go rawr, and Kitty Cat, you are the closest living thing to him. He's gonna come and say hi.
Oh, hello there.
And he is going to go swingy swing with the broken blade in his hand.
1 sec. Actually, I forgot my stance.
You're good.
I'm normally in my air elemental thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me add that. Go ahead and continue, but the zombie would have taken more damage.
Oh yeah. How much more damage?
1d6 electricity.
Roll that d6 for me. Because if you roll 6, it dies.
Only a 4. Also, I think
Oh.
technically it would have gotten a bonus to, or it would have had an attack of opportunity, by the way.
Oh, for
Because I
the.
shot.
That's right. You are correct. So
And I think you know why I'm specifying that?
yes. So let me see real quick. Let me try doing this real quick. It will make its attack of opportunity at you.
Alright. Actually, do I really want to use... Well, yeah, we're probably not going to attack anything else, so might as well. Go out the gates, awesome. And I will have a... Looks like I've got a -2 to the attack, but...
Why do you have a -2?
That's part of the opportune parry and riposte.
No, that's only if its size is bigger than you.
Oh, right. So I don't have that -2. Either way, it looks like I...
That is a critical threat. That is a critical confirmation.
Well...
Please roll your critical, sir.
Do you have the Pathfinder critical cards?
I do not. I need to pick those up. It should... Okay, it did not automatically do it. I mean, it's dead either way. But the rapier is a ×3?
×2.
Okay, ×2.
So 14 damage is what you would have done to it.
I always liked these ones where you get to roll more dice.
Right?
Because rolling more dice is always more fun.
2d6 plus 10, so you just did 20 damage to it, and so this zombie goes as you raise your gun and fire. You just nimbly bat aside its hand before lifting your blade and driving it into its eye, and it just slumps as its body just collapses as the undeath that had brought it back, the negative energy just leaves it. And it crumbles.
It would be twitching a little bit before it crumbles, because electricity as well. I hate stabbing these things. They always leave my blade so filthy.
As the first skeleton had gone for Dacro, lifting its broken scimitar and swinging it down before the catfolk nimbly just blocks it aside with his blades. And then it is skeleton number 2, which is dead.
If you right-click skeleton number 2, you should have an option to remove it.
Okay.
Makes combat easier when the dead things are just removed.
Gotcha. Thank you. Dacro, it is your turn, sir.
Kravist is large, right?
Yes,
Yes.
he does threaten this skeleton.
My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kick off the ground and jump over the skeleton to get behind him with an
Make it
acrobatics.
roll.
What is with my luck?
You will move. It does get an attack of opportunity against you, though.
That's fine.
So, it is going to make... It is going to swing its scimitar at you. And it is going to miss, as you still bound over it.
And then, as I land, I am going to spin with both my rapier and my mithril dagger, and do my 2-weapon attack on it.
Make your attacks. You are flanking, so you do get a +2.
So basically, it's just normal, no negatives.
Correct.
Zim, for your gun, if you go to modifiers, one of the options there for attack is touch.
Thank you.
And that's against the skeleton.
Yep.
Where is this,
So the modifiers is a little plus minus in the top right-hand corner of the screen.
Oh, so I have to activate that every time. Ugh. But alright.
That will hit. Both will hit.
It's also going to be taking sneak attack.
Okay. Make your make your damage rolls.
And sneak attack is... Oh, I'll just roll 1d6.
You get a sneak attack for each one.
Really?
You do some pretty serious damage to this thing with your 2 strikes.
It sadly doesn't go down, though.
Actually, wait, hang on. Sorry. You do... Your weapons go through most of the holes in it and don't do nearly as much damage as you were hoping it would do.
And this is why I wanted to get the weapon cache.
And it is Carvis' turn.
Carvis, sit!
Alright, so I'm going to make a charge action. And I'm going to charge to there. That does provoke an attack of opportunity from Skeleton 1.
I was gonna say it's dead.
Skeleton 1 cannot take an attack of opportunity because it has already taken its attack of opportunity for the round.
Alright, cool. By charging like this, I take a -2 armor class.
So, I just want to point out real quick, we have finally gotten Timmy trained to mute himself when he's not talking. Unfortunately, now we gotta train him to remember to unmute when he does talk.
Alright, so part of the attack, I'm going to make an attack with my Great Axe against the zombie.
Okay.
Sigh. All right. Secondary attacks is going to be the tail against the skeleton. Can we try the?
Did you add in the +2 for your charge?
No, actually, I didn't.
You get a +2 for charging.
So that would have been a 13 on the zombie.
That will hit.
Ooh. Okay.
By the way, Dacro, your blade, despite not doing that much damage, did destroy the skeleton when you stabbed it.
Oh, I thought I didn't kill it.
You did.
Okay.
Alright.
Worth it then.
Let's see what I do to the zombie.
You cut it in half. You just lift your axe up and then bring it down and just cut the zombie right in two.
Okay, so I don't do the tail, don't do the bite, don't add the claws, and didn't even rage.
It was just supposed to be a simple CR2 encounter, and you guys just went, "Hi, friends! You're all going to die now."
This is why I didn't think it was a good idea for you to have us level quicker.
Really? Because I rolled a lot of ones in just that one combat.
By the way, actually, wait, this is apparently a CR3 encounter. This does not feel like a CR3 encounter.
Like, maybe triple what we're up against? And it might be a CR3 encounter? I don't think anyone even took any damage there, did we?
No. Good job, though, you guys. That was pretty cool. By the way, you guys can thank Karma for the undead rising already. This wasn't supposed to happen for a long time, and Karma started it really for you guys.
That is a bit disappointing. I
Thanks,
would have
Karma.
to agree with Karma here. That is a bit disappointing for a $50 donation.
Oh, no, you're gonna have more. This was the small. I didn't want to start you guys with the 20 undead, okay?
Bring
I
it
was
on.
You're only level 1. I only brought out 4. I was trying to be
You'll
nice
be
because
fine. Give us 20.
it scales as we go on, the longer it takes. But that's why I wanted to start it early for you guys.
So did these ones actually come out of the graves themselves?
Yes, they did. They came out of the graves themselves.
How big are the headstones on all of these graves?
Hang on a second. They're about normal. They are about normal size. 1 second.
So Timmy has untrained himself on muting now.
And you'll have to show Timmy the trick on how to set a grid on the maps.
What'd you say, Jaffer?
You'll have to show Timmy the trick on how to set the grids on the maps.
This is a module, and it's supposed to already have the grids on it, but it didn't. This particular map did not. The other ones do. But
Okay.
I did show him how to do that. Yeah, there was supposed to be a combat on this map, and yet it didn't actually have a combat.
Yeah, we can end with you guys heading up to talk to Father.
Well, as
Okay,
as
but
we're
I
going up,
expect more zombies later.
my
Oh, there will
character
be.
is just in like actually made a roll, and I'm happy that I'm intelligent enough that I have an idea. I'm gonna start pushing gravestones over onto the grave themselves, so I can trap the zombies inside.
When you do that, a few of the clerics are immediately going to try to ask you to stop, because these are their
Oh
family
yeah,
and such.
I know it's a bad idea socially as a player, but me put a rock stop zombie.
No, we'll take care of this. I mean, it was just probably one thing. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
One second.
Would have tipped over at least one before they caught me though.
Lano is his name. Yep. All right.
It was that or start just chopping at all the grave sites.
Give me a quick moment, you guys, to calculate EXP.
I think we can take care of that after the session here.
That's fair.
So everyone, thank you for joining us for our first session of Lords of Death Pathfinder. We will be back, or I will be back tomorrow. In the earlier part of the day, we will have our Darkest Dreams, World of Darkness game, and then later on, Retrograde Renegade Starfinder. So do make sure you all tune in for those. Also check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Thank you so much to my patrons, donators, and subscribers. It is because of all of you that I'm able to continue bringing these streams to you guys. I really could not do it without your support. Do consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. That is one of the best places to support the channel and make sure they keep on coming. You can also help us out by donating. You can share the stream with your friends, or you can grab some of the merchandise on the website and in the description. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and I bid you the most fondest adieu.
Hey.
Thank you for coming, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.